Yo, what's good? This is Casey for L King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, and you're now watching Casey for L Wrestling Takes Show. What's going on, fam? This your boy Caseyville, King Self for Life Wrestling Takes. I have not sat down in front of the computer in about 3 to 4 weeks. The videos I've recently done from the car, but just being able to sit down in front of my actual computer to talk about wrestling, man, it feels good. And speaking of feeling good, I gotta give them props. Now let's address the issues right off the jump. They had audio issues right at the beginning of the show, and it messed up a segment where it was a video package segment that featured Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and the Kingdom. And so everybody that was online was like, yo, what the heck is up with the audio? Like, you can't hear nothing. You can't hear nobody. Toni Khan and them had Excalibur say, due to TBS truck situation, we apologize for the situation, and we're going to replay that same segment back. Now, let me tell you something. 4 years in, and we still dealing with audio issues. Come on, y'all. We got to get this down pat. This time is out for audio issues. Time is out. Listen, congratulations for AEW reaching 4 years. There have been fans, especially hardcore WWE elitists, praying for the downfall of this company, wishing that this company will cease to exist. But they have continued to find a way to still be on television. And I got to give Tony Khan and everybody who works there nothing but props. Now, let's go ahead and break down this show. I thought tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite 4 years in was a stellar episode. Outside of the audio issues, my girl Sky Blue situation, and the matchup with Swerve and Brian. I'll talk about that. But outside of everything else that happened on this show, the storylines we got, heck, we even got the main event already set for Full Gear. Tony Khan ain't playing. He heard fools complaining, hey TK, why don't you go ahead and start building the matches before the pay-per-view? He said, I got you, ladies and gentlemen. Man, let me tell you something. We're going to break down everything that happened. I'm not going over every match move set. I'll just talk about what I felt about each match that happened, and I'll talk about the different stories that are breaking, that's going through, and we're going to go down from that. So anyway, let's go ahead and start this show. So right at the beginning, We came out of nowhere. Obviously, AEW. They can't help themselves. We got to jump right into the action. Before we got ready to jump into the action, we had Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho talking with Renee Paquette in the back about what they did at the pay-per-view. But however, they get ready for their matchup later on today with Sammy and Takeshita. Unfortunately, Sammy got pulled, and I'll talk about that. So as they were talking, Edge comes out of nowhere. The fans started saying, "Holy poop, holy poop." Edge says, "Good to see you, Chris." And Kenny Omega standing in front of Edge looked like a kid in the candy store. He looked like he was starstruck. He looked like he was meeting his idol for the first time or something. I could just tell by the interactions that we got. I said, well, you know what? Tony Khan be hearing us complaining about them not, starting off with a talking segment because, AEW loves to jump right into the action. And I'd be like, look, it's cool to do it every now and then because, look, even WWE don't do that all the time. They jump into the action every now and then, but a lot of times WWE has a talking segment, and that leads into what's finna transpire on the show. And I'm like, TK, you don't have to always have a match right off the jump. TK said, I got you covered, don't worry. I thought it was a great talking segment, but Edge said, I can't wait to address the fans and everything while I'm here later on tonight. Boom, I like it. Then we get right into the first matchup. The first matchup was Nick Jackson versus Rey Fenix for the AEW International Championship. Let me tell you something. I mean, obviously, Rey Fenix is dealing with a back situation. Nick Jackson came in there thinking he was finna get the dub. He messed around and messed his foot up, kicking the doggone turnbuckle or the post or whatever. And these two, I mean, just you know how it is. You know what you're gonna get with these two. They're gonna do all kind of crazy spot monkey fest moves. That's what they do. That's what they love to do. That's Nick Jackson. That's Rey Fenix. However, they have great chemistry with one another. That is the one thing that you're gonna always take away. You may not be the best. You may not be a big fan of the Young Bucks or the Lucha Bros or their style of how they do, but when they get together, whether it's tag team or whether it's singles, they're going to do great things together. And that's the one thing I can appreciate about both of these men. Nick Jackson went out there trying to do a little something. Rey Fenix, I mean, I don't understand some of the stuff that Rey be doing. Rey be out here just looking like he ready to just end his career. All that crazy, chaotic, foolish stuff. I mean, these fools just constantly get dropped on. I'm like, man, would y'all quit dropping each other on it? But that's what they do. I mean, I don't approve of it, but this is what these clowns love to do. That's what they do. But Rey Fenix, he retains, and you know what? Hey, it is what it is. But like I said, from this point on, we need story development for Nick and them, because as of right now, Rey's title, he's just constantly doing open challenges, and we're going to talk about what's finna happen next week for his matchup because they already got it set up in store. But Nick Jackson, Rey Fenix, I thought they had a pretty solid opener. I thought it was pretty good, but Rey retains his championship. So that's that. We move on. Then, now, this is it. So we got the video footage of Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett chilling in the at Roderick Strong's room. Because remember what he said? He said if Adam has enough guts, he's going to pull up to Roderick Strong's house. He said that on Collision. Now, this is where we had a lot of the audio situations. These fools asked him to come to the house so he can lift something up. Now, he got him a dog on one of those rolly things. So let's say you mess your leg up or you mess your foot up and you don't want to actually be on crutches. I've seen a lot of people, it was a little scooter. I think this was called, it's called it's some type of scooter. It's something. But he got it to him, and these fools, him rolling around in that doggone wheelchair and him rolling around on that doggone scooter. And then you got Matt Taven petting a doggone stuffed giraffe. It just looks silly as say. I was like, just comedy clown foolishness. I'm like, clowning. Just clowning. I'm telling you, it was a clown segment. Foolish. But like I said, he wanted him to lift something. And I'm sitting up here like, why the heck does he want him to lift a couch or something when they know his leg, quote unquote, is messed up? Why? Like, real talk. Why and what is this all about? They are playing games, ladies and gentlemen. Because the whole thing is for them to win Adam back to potentially, you know what, turn on MJF. Now, here's the deal. What's going to make the most sense, ladies and gentlemen? What is going to make the most sense? The Kingdom potentially wins those tag team titles back. They win them. And it all happens because the turn happens. Now, I don't know when that turn potentially is going to take place, but it's bound to happen. We know it's going to happen, but it's a game, ladies and gentlemen. It is a game going on, especially later on with MJF situation. It's going to play an even bigger factor. Well, we got Griff Garrison. We ain't seen him in forever. He's out there. And then Justin Roberts said, and his opponent is Warlow's music hits. He comes out there and he annihilates this man. I said, welcome back, Warlow. There have been fans that have been sitting up here saying, well, this man is on his way out of AEW and he's going to WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, from this point forward, whatever we are doing with Warlow, keep him on this devastating, beating the snot out of you roll. This is what you want to do. We got to rebuild him back up. And you know what? I like everything he did. He came in there. He destroyed Griff Garrison. He destroyed this fool. I mean, he couldn't even do anything. Came in and walked out. And fans loved everything about it. They was out there in Stockton, California, if I'm not mistaken. Came in there, beat the brakes off of him, match over with. So then, backstage, this is what we found out about Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara is not cleared to wrestle. So at the pay-per-view, Sammy did some kind of crazy move. And a lot of people was thinking, okay, maybe he's okay. He hurt himself on that, so obviously he's not cleared to wrestle tonight. Don said, well, I got a backup. Well, we got Kyle Fletcher from Aussie Open because Mark Davis, the other member of Aussie Open, he broke his wrist. So, therefore, you already know they pretty much in the family. They in Don Calis' family, so why not? So, we had Kyle Fletcher, Takesha taking on Jericho and Kenny Omega. And let's see. Yep, like I said, they replayed the whole situation. They played it back. Like I said, this is a game, ladies and gentlemen. I personally believe this is a game. Because what did Matt Taven? Yeah, Matt Taven say, and Mike Bennett. What did they say about Adam Cole? They called him a liar, correct? That's what they called him. And he said that he got to have surgery this and he got to have surgery that, or does he? We don't know, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know. So, we got a random trios match. We ain't seen Butcher, we ain't seen Blade, and we haven't seen Kip Sabian. Well, these clowns are already out there, and guess who comes out? That's right, the Acclaim. They come out. Max does his dumb rap. Anthony Bourne say, Stockton, California. You know how it is. See, you know how they do. You know, they say everyone loves the Acclaim, all that crazy stuff, right? So they get there, they beat the brakes off of them. You know, you know the script. They win. I personally want more story with them. Now, I do like the fact that later on they're going to get involved with the man himself. I like that. But I personally want this for them to have some more meaning. I'm glad they won the trios titles. I just need more oomph with them. You understand what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking. Like I said, they're getting used. It's not the fact that they're not getting used. They everywhere. They on Collision. They on Rampage. They on Dynamite. They all over the place. So I don't want to hear nobody say that the Acclaim are not getting used. They are getting used. I just want it to mean something. I just don't want them having random matches with jobbers that don't nobody give a rat's behind about. You understand what I'm saying? So we get the final installment of this sit down with RJ City with Toni Storm, A Portrait of a Star. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all familiar with this show by the Wayans brothers. Actually, the Wayans family, because it's Keenan Ivory Wayans, Damon Wayans, Kim Wayans, Sean Marlon Wayans. They had Tommy Davidson. This is where Jim Carrey got his start. This is white young lady on the show. Her name was Kelly Cloakfield. Kelly Cloakfield had this segment where she would play like this black and white character who would just be stuck in her time. She was stuck in her ways, but think everything is like it's like a movie or something. This character that Toni Storm was playing, I couldn't help but think about Kelly Cloakfield. If you know exactly what I'm talking about, if you don't, go type in Kelly Cloakfield from Living Color and type in movie character or something like that, or movie sketch, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly who Toni Storm's gimmick reminds me of. I understand that she's giving a Marilyn Monroe type of stuff, but she really had me thinking about Kelly Cloakfield. I'm telling you, look, Toni is killing it with this gimmick. She is killing it. I was like, you know what, man? Listen, keep doing your thing, girl. Keep doing it. Now, here's the deal. I didn't like the fact that she was going to have to destroy my girl Sky Blue. I said, man, I'm loving this. I'm liking this gimmick that she's doing, but it's going to result in squashing my girl Sky Blue. I was like, dang. It's like we got to win, and then I was like, man, TK, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? So, right off the jump, we got back-to-back video package promos from the two cats who are finna wrestle each other next week on Tuesday night's Dynamite. Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. Obviously, with the situation that happened, they're not done. They gonna run this thing back. Then they showed Shane getting over on Adam Hangman Page. He sounded like he ain't done with Swerve. Tony Khan said we getting Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland next week. Now I sit up here saying to myself, you know what? The match is going to be fantastic. My only problem is right when we are building Swerve, now we already ready to cut the legs from him. And I said, the match is going to be fantastic. Neither one, Bryan don't need to lose either. Why do we put two cats against one another who can't lose? That's what I don't be liking about TK. TK does this way too much. I'm like, the match is going to be great. We know it's going to be good. You know Bryan is going to make Swerve look great, and you know Swerve is going to make Bryan look good. I just don't need Swerve taking the L, and I don't need Bryan taking the L. That is my only issue I have with this match that's taking place next week. That's my only issue. I know the match is going to be good, but we've been talking about, look here, you know me, I go in on both companies concerning our people. I'll be talking about how they need to present us right. They need to make us feel like, okay, I need to get behind player A or I need to get behind player B. I don't want to get behind them and then right away you already know what they get ready to do. I'm expecting them to lose already. Obviously, this is a shot for the TNT title. Who is the TNT champion? That's right, Christian. Christian's a heel. Swerve is a heel. You know dang well Swerve is not winning. We getting Bryan versus Christian. More than likely, possibly it could take place at Full Gear. Possibility. But outside of that, I mean, it's all right. So then we got a recap of what took place to Jay White last week. Jay White got annihilated by 4 goons and a dude wearing MJF's devil mask. So Bullet Club Gold comes out. They address everything. They call MJF out. They said, we know dang well that was you. You said that wasn't you that attacked Jay. We know that was you. Get your tail up out here right now. MJF comes out. They address each other. The fans go completely nuts. MJF with his cornball jokes that had me on the floor laughing, talking about the A-boys and talk about Juice Robinson. They all nothing more than jokes. And Jay White is tofu. I told you before, I told you then. I'm not. Why would I lie? Why in the heck would I actually lie? He said, I've done some pretty douchebag things. He talked about all the crazy stuff he's done in the past. But he said, I didn't attack that man. I didn't. So, as they going back and forth, all this fans screaming, doing whatever they had to do, all that crazy stuff, right? Jay White comes out of nowhere. And the 4 of them massacre MJ. I mean, they beat him down. They beat him down. I'm telling y'all, they tore him up. So, because he actually, now here's the deal. Before that, I forgot to say this. MJF said, let's have a street fight right now. Took off his shirt. I mean, he literally got in the ring like he was ready to go. Now, he didn't have no wrestling clothes on. But he said, hey, let's go. Let's do it. I'm the man. The fans love me. I'm their scumbag. I'm like, shh. Got in there, and like I said, got jumped. Jay White came out of nowhere, laid him out, stole the man's championship, took it, and before he left, got on the mic and straight told that man, you know what, screw this. You ain't really the champion that AEW is needs. I'm the real one. I'm the AEW. Listen, they need somebody that's worth being the elite champion. Well, that's what I'm going to do. And you know what? I'm calling the shots right now. How about you meet me at Full Gear out there at the Forum in California? Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is October the 4th. Full Gear is not until November 18th. We got about 6 or 7 weeks of build-up. And I said, Tony Khan, you know what? This is what I like. Build from the back. Remember what I tell you. A movie is always in production. They started to finish, and then they work their way to the beginning. You build around Jay White versus MJF for the AEW World Championship. Now, here's the deal. I like the call. I knew that this was probably the way they was going to go, but here's the deal. You want to get people fully invested. MJF had absolutely nobody to back him up. Nobody. Adam Cole chilling out here with the Kingdom and Roderick Strong. Oh, and word on the street is when, because I'm going to talk about it in a minute, when MJF was in the back The fans were literally saying what Roger Strong says all the time. They were literally saying, Adam! I'm like, Roger Strong got that foolishness over. He got it over. I'm like, you know what, man? Cool. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, that man got jumped. They stole his championship, and I'm like, look, if I'm MJF and if I'm Tony Khan, I'm gonna have Jay White and them pull up on the show with the doggone championship, and I'm gonna have MJF come out of nowhere and try to figure out how to get this championship back. I'm gonna find we got to do something. We had to pull up on Collision because that's his show. Since CM Punk is no longer there, Collision belongs to Bullet Club Gold. I mean, Bullet Club Gold, that's the group right now. That's my favorite faction in AEW right now, hands down. They are my favorite faction. So, backstage segment, we got Renee Paquette talking with OC and Hook. And Hook obviously still has the FTW championship, but Orange Cassidy has nothing. And it looks like the match has already been set up, so Moxley has been cleared. And it looks like Moxley is going to win his championship back, especially with Ray Phoenix being beat up. That's the gimme. Ray Phoenix, so pretty much he had, a 3-week reign? He's going to lose. Moxley's getting that title back. And therefore, I'm assuming that the matchup going into Full Gear is going to be OC versus Moxley Part 2. It just sets itself up. Now, obviously, OC's not winning, but as you can see, Cassidy right now feels left out because they didn't quite win the tag team match, the Fatal 4-Way tag team match at Wrestle Dream. He feels naked. He says, yeah, he's a great champion, but Moxley, he had it for a week, and I had it for 11 months. You can sense a jealousy coming up because he has nothing. I'm like, you know what? Now I can get behind Cassidy because I don't really see him as much as I did because he was always putting that doggone championship on the line. But I personally believe that this was going to happen. Moxley winning that championship next week on Tuesday Night Dynamite. And the matchup set for Full Gear will be OC versus Mox Part 2 for the AEW International Championship. It just sets itself up. So we get the matchup. We get Jericho Kenny versus Konosuke and Kyle Fletcher. Now, this is a solid matchup, pretty good. Let me tell y'all something. So, like I tell you, Mark Davis is out, broken wrist. Sammy, we don't know what his issue is, but obviously he wasn't clear to wrestle. Don Calis on commentary talking all kind of bull job, just talking crap. They talked about that doggone Peyton of them trying to be like Jesus and them in the Last Supper, the disciples. He talked about where he feels like that's his caliber of character. So I'm like, man, stop. You bull job. You bull job harder than anything right now. But he just talking bull jive out there. Jericho Kenny doing what they got to do. Now, I seen this one cat that I mess with online. His name is Brick. He said that watching this whole thing with Jericho and Kenny, he said Kenny's energy just felt off. I don't know about that. I thought Kenny and Jericho kind of did a pretty solid job. And obviously, Takeshi going to do what we had to do. Kyle Fletcher coming in there trying to do a little something, but it wasn't enough. Kenny and Jericho get the victory. So now things are even up, right? Right after they won, all you heard was Don Callis on commentary talk about they cheated to win. They cheated to win. Now, all you see them just looking back at Don Callis, and next thing you know, you hear the fans going nuts. Ladies and gentlemen, nowhere in the world did I see this man pulling up. Now, people have been wondering, what are they going to do with Hobbs? He just got out. Now, I thought the feud between him and Miro wasn't complete. I thought we still had another chapter in that, but obviously, I guess I guess that's it. I guess they're moving on. Will Hobbs has now officially aligned himself with the Don Callis family. And I'm sitting up and saying to myself, I didn't see that at all. And the beat down that they gave Jericho and Kenny, that was a beat down for the ages. And Hobbs kept saying, anybody can get it. Anybody. Kenny, I told you. Anybody. Jericho, anybody can get it. And he beat the snot. Listen, man. I've seen Will Hobbs jump people, but I ain't never seen nothing like this. The fact that it was Kenny and Jericho, I said, uh-oh. I was like, uh-oh. I said, now, look here. We talk about Swerve getting that push. We talk about Swerve getting the push. Now Will Hobbs is out of nowhere getting the push. I said, ladies and gentlemen, look here. I know a lot of people be complaining about us all the time. I'll be one of the main ones going in on us. I say presentation is the freaking key. Nowhere in the world did I see this. I didn't see this at all. That's why I called Tony Khan the king of the swerve. I did not see this. Will Hobbs coming out of nowhere, aligning himself with Don Calis. I said, wait, I like this pairing. The reason why, this is going to elevate Hobbs even more. Hobbs, listen, Hobbs is still learning the promo rare. I think, personally, I think Hobbs is a solid promo. He can use a lot of work in the promo, the believability factor, but he is aligning himself with the man. Listen, I call him a clown because he's a clown, but I love Don Calis. Personally, I think Don Calis is one of the best heels of the game. Look, people talk about Dominic Mysterio with the master heat. He got some heat, but he got all the wrong kind of heat. Don Calis, he got that heat, man, where he don't even have to say nothing. He just come walking out there, and fans just go completely nuts with this vicious attack. And one thing I love, Tony Khan and company and whoever was in the back of the truck, they let the segment breathe. They taped Kenny Omega to the doggone rope. Now he kind of broke free of it, but they taped him to the ropes of the ring, and they beat the brakes off of him. They took that chair. Will Hobbs was finna whack him. Don Calis said, no, let me do it. Popped him in the head with the chair. Put a dent in the they tore them up. Jericho got jumped. They annihilate. I said, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is some boss type of stuff. I say, ladies and gentlemen, we want our people to look like bosses in this show. I want my people to be presented as if we matter. I'm a huge advocate for us in wrestling because I've been watching this stuff for so long and I've seen how we've been portrayed regardless of promotion. And I'm like, man, I want us to eat just like everybody else is eating. I tell you every day, when everybody eating, wrestling is on another level. I don't care what promotion they are. But the fact that we are once again trying to elevate Will Hobbs, I said, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the correct pairing that we needed. People thought him getting together with QT, I thought it was going to be something, but that just turned into one of the biggest flops on the planet. That was a huge flop. This right here, listen, I'll keep talking about Swerve. I keep talking about, one of them potentially being our first. There is potential. There is potential for these cats right here. Heck, Ricky, as much as they keep making Ricky look like a joke, there is potential for Ricky. The brothers can be as good as the cats, like all of these other cats, if they get behind them. If they want to get behind them. That's all I ask, man. It ain't even that difficult. It's not that difficult, man. And this right here, I loved it. I thought this was the segment of the night. This was, for me, this was the segment of the night. Because Lord knows I didn't see nothing of that. I wasn't even thinking about no Will Hobbs coming out of nowhere. That boy came out of nowhere and annihilated Kenny and Jericho together. I'm like, bro, they trying to put this man to the next level. You get in the ring with a Kenny Omega and you beat him down like that, you already know. I'll say, okay, yeah, TK said, TK know the game. He see the game. TK understand what's going on. He hear everybody going in on him. He know cats be on his helmet. There's too many cats in the IWC that stay on his helmet concerning our talent. I don't have to name cats. You know who they are. I'm one of the biggest ones that get on his helmet. But, man, this right here, I loved it. I thought this was the segment of the night for me. Hobbs coming out of nowhere, beating the brakes off. I said, oh, snap. I said, oh. So, next week, on Tuesday Night Dynamite, we got the match set. Jericho versus Will Hobbs has been set. And I'm like this, Jericho, you know exactly what you need to do. Put Will Hobbs over. Will Hobbs needs to go over like it ain't nothing. That's what I need. So, backstage, MJF is talking to Renee. He got the doggone ice thing on his neck. He's sitting there. She trying to talk to him, trying to figure out what's going on. He said he going to get his championship back. And he said, I'm about to hit up Adam Cole. But before then, out of nowhere, the Acclaim come walking in and everybody started going nuts. I said, well, finally, with all of the idiotic foolishness that Max Caster be doing on Twitter, listen, everybody know Max Caster's not gay. We all know Anthony Bowens is the one that's on the other page. Every single one of us know that. Max Caster constantly keep playing this game as if him and MJF are a secret item, if you get my drift. So my man was giving him a massage, right? And then Max Caster just pulls up. MJF is starting to talk. He turned around. He said, man, if you don't, he said, bro, you've been a thorn in my side. You've been online talking this freaky stuff. Listen, I got a freaking restraining order against you. You need to get your behind up out of here. And he said, hey, you the king. You're the king, ladies and gentlemen. He has no backup right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you notice something, He has no backup. He has no backup. He has no backup. He has nobody to get because he tried to call Adam Cole and Adam Cole's voicemail is filled up and the fans were booing. The fans were upset. I said, well, MJF, you have no choice but to turn to the Acclaim. As much as you claim that you got a quote-unquote restraining order against Max Caster, that's the man that you're going to have to turn into. Now, here's the deal. Now, look here. Here's the deal. If Max start doing some real freaky deaky type of stuff, I'm gonna be out the door on that. I'm like, I'm good. But like I said, he be on Twitter saying some of the most outlandish, crazy, foolish remarks to MJF as if he's trying to get that man there. I mean, it's silly. I'm like, Max, we know you don't roll like that. Quit playing. We know Anthony Bowens is the one that rolls like that, and Anthony Bowens don't even be doing all that crazy stuff. Max, just listen. But I was like, I find it interesting that they finally aligned them with him now. I said, because he has nobody to back him up. Adam Cole is preoccupied with Roger Strong in the Kingdom. MJF tried to get call him up, tried to get some type of backup, and he couldn't get in contact with him. I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the beginning. And makes perfect sense. Says, what's his name is the doggone AEW. Well, he's the fake AEW champion right now because he stole his belt. And Colton, Austin, and Juice don't have anything. I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm setting up the match. I'm doing Juice Robinson and the Guns versus Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Billy Gunn at Full Gear. And I'm having them dethrone them for the doggone championship. That's what I'm doing. Because I said Bullet Club Gold, as for me, is my favorite faction in the AEW. They are my favorite. I'm loving everything they do. They goofy, but they can be serious at the same time. And the story calls for it. It calls for it. It freaking calls for it. I'm telling you right now. And don't you think Billy Gunn want to put his sons over? You know he do. It makes all the sense in the world. Now here's the deal. Now from now to Full Gear, I don't need them wrestling each other 15,000 times. If Tony Khan has them wrestle once, I'm cool. I don't have a problem with them wrestling each other once. But after that, do not have them wrestling each other week 1, week 2, all the way till we get to Full Gear. Because I'm going to be out. I'm going to be freaking out. That's what I don't like. I get on. Listen, I love rematches, but spread that stuff out. Spread it out. Spread that stuff out. That's what I'm doing. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I'm setting up the Acclaim featuring Billy Gunn versus Juice and the Guns at Full Gear. That's what I'm doing. That's me, and I'm having them go over because, like I said, they have been the best thing on Collision. Outside of Collision, personally, for me, Collision felt like it's been a low show. They still been carrying their weight. They personally been carrying the show, if you ask me. So that's that. So then we get a vignette from Samoa Joe looking like a boss, talking about he may have fell short going at the Max, but let it alone, he's still a champion right now. He's talking about he's the Ring of Honor TV champ, and let it alone, he's earned Max has earned his respect. But don't get it twisted. I'm still coming for that championship. So he pretty much lets you know, like, hey, I might have lost, and you got my respect, Max. But if you still had a championship, you better watch your back, because I'm coming for you. I loved it. Fantastic promo. Fantastic video package promo. I loved it. I loved it. Then we get here, ladies and gentlemen, the one lone women's matchup. I love Toni Storm and her new gimmick. I love it. She's been doing great. But every single one of y'all know I'm one of the biggest Sky Blue marks on the planet. I love Sky Blue, and it ain't got nothing to do with the fact that she's a fine, beautiful woman and got a booty out of this world. I'm not even talking about that. I want my girl to get some victories on the show, and I want my girl to actually feel like she mattered, because when she come out there, you don't hear nobody saying nothing. You see some people clapping, but I'm like, we need to elevate my girl, because let me tell you something. If you keep squashing Sky Blue, you're just going to feed her to the fools over in NXT land. She will be great in NXT. I'm just telling you right now. WWE will bring her in. They'll say, we got us another one from AEW, especially to add on to the women's division out there. Listen, one of the best parts about NXT right now is their women's division. I'm putting them over for talking about the women because they got great women over there. But outside of that, I thought this was a solid matchup. I just personally want Sky to win because Toni is untouchable right now. She's been doing work. This gimmick has got her over. I'm like, okay, Toni, let's do right. Let's put Sky over. Sky has been getting fed left and right. She gets fed on Collision. She gets fed on Rampage. And then she comes to Dynamite to get. I'm like, why are we treating her like she's a freaking enhancement talent? Let's go, TK. Come on, man. Come on, bro. When I saw the match, I said, oh, dog. I knew right away. I said, Sky Blue got to lose again. My girl got to lose again. I said, dog, man, why we doing this, man? Why we got to keep having my girl look goofy? I'm like, why? And she lost again, ladies and gentlemen. Toni wins, and now she gets to go against Kiera Hogan on Collision. That's next in line. Kiera Hogan getting ready to get fed too. I said, that is what it is on that. So, they talk about what's going to happen on next week's Dynamite. And then Tony Schiavone's in the ring, and he welcomes Adam Copeland. Fans go nuts. Rated R superstar here. He comes out there. Fans go crazy. They go berserk. I mean, it's good to see my man. I was cracking jokes. I said, man, what this fool doing in AEW? What he doing here? As if I didn't already know he debuted on Sunday night. Tony talked to him. He said, you were the voice that I grew up on. While I was watching wrestling in my bedroom, you were the guy that I grew up on. Now, I'm glad to ask you, could you get out of the ring? Because I'm taking over the show. Edge, one thing about Edge, man, Edge knows how to compose himself in the ring. When he's on the microphone, you don't hear no nerves or nothing. He knows exactly what he's talking about, and you can feel it. You believe everything he's saying. He goes down the list of why he's here. He said there's a whole lot of cats in the back that he want to go against. He started naming. Oh, he said, hey, let's call it for right now. I think the AEW World Heavyweight Championship would look great around, and the fans went nuts. And he looked right at the camera, too. Like, wait a minute. You talk about a matchup between Edge versus MJF? I mean, dog, listen. He went down the list. He said, hey, let's do a match with Swerve. Let's do a match with Bryan. Let's do a match with Moxley. Let's do a match with Kenny Omega. I mean, he just went down the list of all the different cats. Let's do a match with Powerhouse Hobbs. Let's do a match with me. He went down the list of all the cats, but he said, everybody in the mama know why I'm here. He said, I had a talk with my two girls, Lyric and I forgot his other baby girl name. And the one said, go have fun with Uncle Jay. So let's call him right now. Christian, get out here right now. Christian comes walking out there and he looks puzzled. He looks happy to see him, but he also has that look on his face like, man, what are you doing in my house? What you doing here? I left your behind in WWE land. Why are you coming over here trying to steal my thunder? I'm the TNT champion right now. Your behind should still be over there in WWE land trying to do whatever the clown you need to do. I'm running this show. I'm on one of the greatest runs of my life right now, and you trying to come in here and steal my thunder. That's basically the look he had on his face. He talked to that man and he said, listen, you want to know why I did what I did on Sunday night at Wrestle Dream? The guy that you wanted to end the career, we grew up watching. Heck, I was the Lex Luger guy. I got the Lex Luger haircut. You got the Sting haircut. And you wanted to try to get that man a Conchesto. That's why I took your boy Nick Wayne out. That's why I took your boy Luchasaurus out. But let me tell you something, bro. You and me, we're here together. Let's do this thing one more time. Let's end our careers on the same note as a freaking tag team. It's been 20-some plus years. The fans went nuts. They marked out. They went completely crazy. He said, let's do it. He gave him the mic, and he looked like he was finna say something. He just put his hand out there. He hugged him. He embraced him. The fans went nuts. And right before the show went off the air, he said in the mic, you can go F yourself. I said, oh my goodness. And left him sitting there. And the emotions that Christian had the entire time he was talking were everything that went from, like, he embraced all the different kinds of emotions. I said, man, this is perfect television. They are the story that these two are getting ready to tell, man. If they can stay healthy, I'm on board with what they get ready to tell, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on board. He walks to the ring. Edge is standing. My bad. Adam Copeland standing in the ring, just looking distraught, like he lost his best friend. And he said, "Oh," he said, "before I go, Let me show you what you get ready to deal with next week. And that's when Nick Wayne came out, Lucha came out, and they just stood up there and looked at him like as if he was a loser. And that's how the show went off the air, with Edge standing in the ring looking distraught, looking like he don't know what the heck just happened. He thought that they was getting ready to get back in line. Christian looked like he wanted it. And you know what? I hate to say it, but the scene reminded me so much. It reminded me so much of when Roman and, was it Jimmy? Was it Roman and Jimmy? It was one or two. When they was trying to embrace and get him back into the doggone bloodline, and Roman just straight told that man no. I mean, I couldn't help but think about that. I couldn't. But you know what? Hey, these are two homeboys embracing one another, thinking like, oh, we get ready to get the tag tonight. Listen, everybody in the mama know eventually Edge and Christian to get back together. We know that. We know it's bound to happen. But I loved everything about this. I loved it. I thought it was a great ending. I said, now I need Edge and them to pull up on Collision now. I need more of this. I need Edge to pull up on Collision. I need him to pull back up on Don. Keep this stuff going. Keep it going. Keep it freaking going, because the story that these two are getting ready to tell is about to be some epic television, ladies and gentlemen. I said, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Khan got himself a great story mind. He got himself a great storyteller. Edge is great. Christian is great. I said, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for the races. We are in for the races. This is why I thought this was a fantastic episode. Audio issues need to go. We're 4 years in. We still don't need to be dealing with those trash issues with this concerning the audio. Swerve don't need to be taking no L's, and Brian don't need to be taking no L's. And my girl Sky Blue, what the heck are we doing? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't really have anything else I need to talk about. I'm really running out of things to say. Like I said, I personally thought that this was a fantastic episode. If you want to call me a shield all you want. Like I said, man, they have some things that they need to get over and figure out. Like I said, the audio issues, but I'm here for everything that they're trying to tell right now. I'm here for it, ladies and gentlemen. And that's that. That's my honest take on the day on Dynamite tonight. Hit the comment section up and tell me what you thought about the show, and I'll gladly get back to you. Make sure if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, get them likes up, ladies and gentlemen, because we only growing over here. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I ain't really got nothing else to say. Hey, it's always a beautiful thing to come in here and actually sit down in front of the camera and get in front of the mic and actually express myself. Like I said, I apologize for, somewhat stuttering over my words. Like I tell y'all that all the time. I apologize about that, but hey, like I said, I come on here, y'all. I try my best to keep it 100%, keep it authentic, keep it real like I possibly can. And hey, we just gonna keep growing over here. I'll talk to y'all cats later. Holla at your boy.